Hello everyone, welcome to Management Information Systems unit number 7. In unit number 7 we're gonna be talking about operational excellence and customer intimacy through enterprise application. Means software that helps us to be more effective in our production systems and as well as communicating with the consumer, with the uh, well, not the consumers. Well, yeah, the consumer, our clients, our customers. That was the word I was looking for. So, anyways, let's just start with this. So, we're gonna go into that. So, pretty much what's an ERP system? We're gonna go through that. It's an enterprise resource planning, known as ERP. So, um, it's an integrated software. So, as we put it, I think. Let me here. I have it. For example, know how an enterprise system works. It's very simple. One of the biggest issues of previously in companies it was that you have many business units. No, we have the marketing department, we have with finance, we have manufacturing, we have distribution, we have so many things. And then one of the previous issues was there was a complete they were disconnected. The data was disconnected, and that causes a lot of data problems. We already have talked about data redundancy and data silos. So particularly data silos, all the information was kept separately. So what does this ERP is doing is putting everything together. So what we call a module is when is, for example, a company can hire an ERP system and just having a module for the sales and marketing. So it means the sales and marketing module is just that one, and then little by little they start to integrate other modules like the finance and the accounting. Usually when an ERP system goes in, it already goes in with a couple of modules, because in the end it's better to just start to integrate everything. Yet the problem is migrating the data, connecting the data, the cost of it. We'll see later. Those are the issues of implementing these kind of systems. But in the end, I mean, we're talking about information flowing freely. One of the best examples of who really has a great system of ERP is Walmart. Walmart, they manage their suppliers, they manage their supplies, their inventory, their sales, their marketing. Everything is very well linked, and that is why they're successful of them, because through this system they were really able to integrate their operation very effectively, and then that worked very well for them, right? So anyways, I was saying, like I said, it covers many areas, many departments of the company, and then they make them work together. They share the information so they know what is going on. When we translate this into real life situation, let's say, for example, Nike wants, or let's start from the beginning. Nike wants to develop a campaign for a new Jordan shoes. No, so these new Jordan shoes, they are aiming to reach a certain level of sales. They have a specific goal, as in we want to sell 3 million pair of shoes. So that is their idea, and that sounds fantastic. However, they have to understand how that's gonna work. That plan has to work together with the production. So how to know? Previous systems, we didn't have that access to that information. So we have to understand the production levels to see how much is going to be the cost of these shoes, how many they can produce, when they can produce it. So having access to that information allows the marketing department to see whether this is possible. Then together with the finance, whether we can afford to produce so many shoes of a new line in the time that we're planning for. So we have it in there, and then we have to connect it also with the materials, as in the same thing. Finance says, okay, we need money, we have money, but we need to buy the materials. So we have the materials, and then it comes already the supply chain, which is maybe the supply of the leather, the plastic, etc., whether they can provide on time, and whether the facilities that are manufacturing are able to do it. So we're talking an integrated production, right? Everything becomes connected through these kind of systems. This is very difficult to achieve. We already have spoken about that and how migrating data, making it together, and all the implications that means. We have to connect everything and train everyone and make sure that everyone is in the same page. That is very difficult. Okay, So, like I was saying, the value of this ERP is, in general, operational efficiency. That means also we have a lot of information that is created that translates into knowledge, right? As in, the more information that we have, the better responses or better strategies that we can elaborate. If we see that we're short on sales, we can take an immediate action. As compared to previous systems, in previous systems, you had to finish the quarter, finish 6 months, or finish the financial year to take an action. But because of this data that we have already in streaming live, this data coming up at the moment, the frequency, the latency of it, we can take decisions way much faster. That means that we don't wait for 6 months to go down with the boat, sinking boat already. No, this one, there's a hole in the boat. Let's try to fix it, and then let's try to continue. So that is really what is the benefit of these ERP systems. So like I was saying, I mean, in terms of the supply chain, it helps on that, right? Like here, like I was saying, shoe retailer, no, we have to understand what marketing wants, what they want to achieve, financially how we're going to achieve it, and then based on that, who are involved in our supply chain in terms of the ERP system. Okay, so yep, like I said, these kind of systems, they cut the operating expenses, and most importantly, they help the just-in-time strategy. The just-in-time strategy means these kind of systems generate so much information that I can be aware of the levels of inventory very quickly. I know how much I have and how much I don't have. So rather than storing unnecessary goods in a warehouse that I'm not going to sell, I just produce what I need. Why? Because the systems are able to pull. And actually here I have it, pull and push strategy. Here, pull and push, right? Build to stock or demand driven. So in this case, this just-in-time system help us to pull, right? To pull, uh, 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 to pull to pull the production rather than to push. Means push, we have tons of boxes of shoes, we don't sell them, it's money that is stuck in there, so we have to move it, we have to make sure that we offer sales, and it's not effective. It's effective to say, I need one shoe, I produce one shoe, rather than I build 30 shoes and I have nobody's buying my 30 shoes. What? It could be for many reasons. It could be maybe they don't like the style of shoe, or it's not in trend, or I don't know, it could be anything. So anyways, so that helps that this kind of systems helps that, and they minimize the bullwhip effect. The bullwhip effect is that also it's difficult to explain because this is already into supply chain management, but let's say that the store, let's say the same Nike shoe, right? The store demands for 100 pairs of these Jordan shoes. So in previous systems, we understood that, okay, if they are asking me for 100 shoes, that means next month I also need to produce another 100 shoes, because that's their demand, right? They are demanding me 100 pair of shoes every month because their demand is very high. This is in previous systems. So 100 shoes, and then what happens, let's say, for example, ends the month, comes the next month, and then the supplier of the shoes says, okay, here's your other 100 shoes. And the store says, but I didn't sell them. I still have 90 in stock. So take back your 100 shoes, right? So this is ineffective for the producer, because it took me supplies, money to produce them, and I need to pay my suppliers. So because I cannot push them to you don't sell them, I owe money to the suppliers, which is, again, we can see here the manufacturer. No? So the manufacturer says, okay, you asked me for leather. Where's the payment for my leather, for the shoes? So that is a bullwhip effect, meaning that because in one of the chains of the supply is stuck, then it was asking for more from the other one, or the other party assumed that they needed more for production, then they asked for more supplies, and then they need to pay for them. So the problem is that it's ineffective. But because of these new systems, this doesn't happen. Now, the manufacturer says, retailer, I can see in your system that you still have 95 pair of shoes. So next month, I don't need to spend on that. Once you finish those shoes, then I can supply them again, right? So it becomes more effective because we get to know when really we can meet the demand when it's happening rather than anticipate it. Or we can anticipate it also because it's like this guy sell the shoes in one day, the 100 shoes sold in one day. So that means I need to set up my production right here, right now, so that I can meet the demand. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, this one, like I was saying, this is pretty much what I was telling you now. How everything gets optimized, everything works better, everything flows, and that's as simple as that. So, this one also has helped this this kind of systems have helped because we understand that nowadays most of the production is not done nearby, right? It's either outsourced. The insourcing happens very little and it's done offshore. So we have to have we need to have systems that can tell us the production, update us as live as possible because we need to get those materials or those productions from abroad. So this is something that has helped a lot, right? And the internet as well, because these networks get connected, these ERPs get connected with the suppliers that are somewhere abroad, and of course that works much better. The same thing in terms of calculating the time that it will take from the supply to be produced to get to its final destination. Okay, so this one I already talked about the pushing and the pulling model, so that one no problem, already have it. Okay, so anyways, like I was saying, business value is, like I mentioned just now, we can match the supply, the demand, etc. I already spoke about it. And then of course, like I said, this increases sales, and if it doesn't increase the sales, at least we don't overproduce. That is a good approach too. All right, that works very, very well. Now, that is in terms of the ERP systems, and we can also talk about the CRM systems. So the CRM systems, what they try to understand is not what they try to understand. What their function is to have a very stretched relationship with a customer, as in who they are, where they are, how much they buy, and if they don't buy, when I need to push them to buy, or etc. So here, for example, the good example, and let me show you here. There is. We can use CRM softwares for different things. We can use them, for example, for selling more, as in we know when we need to contact them for selling a certain. If our sales are low, we contact them. You be not purchasing, so I need you to buy more from me. In terms of marketing, you are my valued customers, so I want to tell you about events. I want to tell you about exposing my brand to you. For example, when it comes to this one to go together with sales. For example, you realize that sometimes some of the companies, let's say I'm talking about Nike one more time because I think it's a good example. You sign up through the application of Nike and says, can we send you messages? So they already know that you're a consumer, or maybe you bought a pair of shoes online and then you sign up for their membership, no? So in this case, they will be contacting you to show you the new shoes. So that creates awareness, and that also boosts the sales, right? So that's great. So the same thing as in we have the service. This is a different example. For example, here we can think about banks or insurance companies. They know who you are, where they are, when you need their services. Here there was a good example of one time we called one insurance company to check the price for the insurance for the car, but we didn't engage them, but still they have our data. And next year they say, last year you were looking for insurance, So this year we come again to offer it to you, because last time probably you engaged it and probably expired with another company, but we offer you a better discount or a better offer. So this is pretty much how CRM system works. They keep track of who the customers are and how we stay in contact with them to push them to get to know us, to different purposes, but in the end it's getting to know where they are, who they are, and put a product or be in contact with us. um, Much of the business is lost because we are not in contact with the consumer or the customer. So through these CRM systems, we have a precise detail of when we contacted them, what we offer them, what else we can offer them, and try to push. So these kind of systems, like I said, they keep track. We can do it through many DCRM systems. It can be by email, like I was saying. It can be web through some advertisements. It can be they can call you directly or direct mail, which nowadays is not that common, but previously, in particularly in America, where they have a lot of these brochures. I remember, like last time, Victoria's Secrets was experts on selling brochures to their customers because they wanted to keep updated their customers about it, right? So this is pretty much how it works, right? Like I said, in terms of what we want to do, customer service, marketing, or sales, and what we want to achieve with that. Okay, and here, for example, we talk about loyalty in the loyalty map. Think of a CRM system of all. when you have when you have a product or a service and you have that membership already, and you have the elite points, a platinum, you are a gold, silver, platinum, all of that. This is precisely the CRM. Is they know you are, how often you buy, and they reward you for buying more. Or if you don't buy enough, they'll try you to push to buy more through their communication. Okay, very good. So, anyways, we have in terms of the CRMs, we are using it for two purposes. One, operational, as in, like for example, for the service. Like I said, I can contact my customers and I can provide them better service, and that is part of the operational part. But then we have the analytical part, which is we generate a lot of data, we do analysis, and then we see where we can sell more, where we're not selling well, etc., etc. So that is part of improving our service processes, part of improving our production, part of improving our sales. So based on that data, we will take actions. So one is pretty much for the day-to-day contacting the consumer. The other one is more for analyzing the data that we're getting. Okay, there you go. So, like I said, what is the value of these CRM systems? Like I said, we can contact them more often so they are more satisfied. Rather than targeting the whole population that wants our product, we just focus on specific people that needs our product. That means the marketing is more effective. And like I said, these systems generate so much data that if they know that the last time I bought a pair of Jordans, they will target the Jordan merchandise to my account, right? Rather than baseball gear, because they know I don't do it. So supposedly it's more effective. That one, I mean, I have my own personal opinion that I think sometimes it's a spam. No, that is a problem also with this kind of CRM systems, that uh, they end up being spam. And then from that, I mean, talking about the spam, we're talking about the effectiveness of these CRM systems. We need to understand how much money we spend on these systems versus making a transition into an actual purchase. The conversion is important. How much I spend on marketing versus how much they really buy. Okay, so we have that is the most important thing of the CRM systems, whether they are really paying for themselves or not, right? And if they are not, then we have to change the strategy because something is not working very, very well. This one, I'm gonna tell you something. There's this brand Supreme. Probably you have heard of it. This brand Supreme, it in my perception, uses the CRM system at its highest level because really keeps track of who their customers are and then inform them of the new products. And because they are collectors, the supreme customers are collectors, and then of course they inform them of the things that are coming. They have zero zero inventory. Supreme sales absolutely everything that they produce, and that is, when it comes to business, is really effective. And I think their marketing strategy and their CRM strategy is fantastic. I'll see if I find any video for you so I can put it in there. But really, they do it very well. Okay, so now the problems of ERP challenges. I mean, what is the problem of getting one of these things? So first of all, they are expensive, very expensive, because in the end, you are acquiring a software that you're acquiring a software that has a lot of complexity. So for that reason, it's very expensive. Problems with it is that you need an ERP system or a CRM system that is dynamic, that keeps evolving, because if you find or you get an older one and then keeps on changing, technology keeps on changing, innovating, and then it doesn't follow through. That is one of the issues of that. People or business processes, we already have spoken about that. Business processes change. And you don't log in the information the way they used to do it. Now you have to log it in a different way. It becomes more complex, and for that reason also people reject it in companies. They go to think like, why should I learn? What is the benefit for me? Why should I make it more complex when last time I just used to fill a form and send it and that's it? Now I have to go into the system, log in, put information, etc. In the beginning it's troublesome, but in the end we need to understand the technology helps us to make things easier. So maybe in the beginning you don't understand it, but once they get used to it. But anyways, that transition is what really makes things difficult. And then of course data. That's the biggest issue. Imagine talking about transforming the records of a company for years into digitalizing them and putting them into a structure that fits the whole ERP system. People, when companies switch from legacy to digital and do these transitions to ERP system, they sweat blood. They sweat blood because there's too many files, too much information to transform. So this takes very long time. They are very costly projects, and in the end also there's many problems, as in there's also, we need to understand that throughout all the data existence, not all the same people work there. So when this guy was here, we used to work this way. When that guy working here, we used to work that way. And that really makes things very complicated in switching to this. It pays off. If properly used, an ERP, a CRM pays off. But again, this is like the process of going through the gym, no pain, no gain. They have to go through so many things in order for them to really be effective, right? So now we're talking about, finally, we're going to talk about what happens next. What are the next ERPs? So the next ERPs, remember just now I was telling you that you can have a system that can become obsolete, but that is changing because now we have cloud-based versions. We use more the software as a service. So it means it's in the cloud, they update it, they give you the updates, they train you, and then that has removed already the issue of having obsolete systems, and that works very well. Also, they are web enabled. That means they reach other companies, and they reach other companies that you're working for, and that works very well. The same as well as mobile platforms. So these ERP systems are able to provide information live through your phone or applications, right? And then, of course, when you're talking about CRM and business intelligence, we have already an expansion into the web, into the social media analytics, merging that with your demand, with your production, and that, of course, is way more advanced. Okay, very good. So that's it. We have also that, and then of course the business intelligence. Like I said, we generate a lot of data. So that's it for today. That's it. Thank you so much, and then I'll see you next time.